What's up, YouTube? It's Brendan the Barber. This is my first video, and today we're going to be doing a tutorial on a high taper. But before we get started, I want to tell you guys a little bit about myself and how I got started in the barber industry. Alright, so this is how everything got started. It's back in 2021. I'm working at Walmart. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of feel like I'm slaving for them. I want to be my own boss. It's just, I was tired of working for other people and not doing something for myself. So I decided that I wanted to be a barber. I actually never really thought that I would be good at cutting hair, or I never pictured myself being a barber growing up. But I was good at art, you know, in high school. That's one thing that made me think I would be good at cutting hair, being a barber. Working at Walmart, and I'm watching barber videos every single week, every day, and I was watching people like 360 Jeezy, Sean Cuts Hair, Get Beam. About the time it was Christmas, I got my first set of clippers, and once I got them first set of clippers, I never looked back. I was doing house calls, cutting hair at my grandma's house, just having people pull up on me. It was crazy. I just remember this one time I was cutting this dude hair on his porch, and it was like 30 degrees outside, freezing, you know. I was grinding, I was actually grinding, you know what I'm saying, because this is what I wanted. You know, I fell in love with it very fast, and I knew this is what I wanted to do. From there, when I was doing house calls, I actually ran into an opportunity to start working in a barbershop, and so I took the opportunity. And while I was working there in the barbershop, I got into barber school, and everything was smooth from there. Really, when I look back on the times where I was doing, you know, when I was doing the house calls and I was doing free haircuts and I was looking out for people just because I was trying to get better, I'm very thankful and I'm very blessed. You know, and I'm actually proud of myself for making the accomplishments that I made. And so I just want to bring you guys on this journey with me through YouTube and everything else. And with that being said, I just want to leave you guys a little message. You know, just follow your passion. Whatever your passion is, just stick to it. Don't let nobody tell you you can't do it. Don't let nobody bring you down, you know, because you can do it and you will succeed. As long as you stay down, you put in the work and you grind for it, then you will see tremendous numbers and it'll work in your favor. I just want to be here to mentor you guys, teach y'all how to cut hair, you know, be a professional barber, and at the same time just, you know, get through whatever you're going through and find a way. So with that being said, let's get straight into the video.
Alright, so y'all see my boy. He came in here looking crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's been 2 or 3 weeks. I don't remember, but it's been 2 or 3 weeks since he got a cut. So y'all know we're gonna have to shake him back. So look, I already gave my client a shampoo off camera. What I'm doing now is I'm just combing his hair, making sure that I lift the hair off the scalp. That way we can cut it to the desired length. And when you're doing any type of haircut on, you know what I'm saying, this texture of hair, you always want to make sure that you comb it out before you start cutting it. So now I got my 1.5 guard halfway open, going with the grain, making sure that I get my client's hair to the desired length that he wants for this haircut. So y'all will see me pass over his hair multiple times, combing it down, and that's just to make sure that everything is even. you never cut waves before, you gotta know that cutting around the crown is very important when you cut somebody with wavy hair like this. So just be careful and make sure that you are cutting that hair in the direction that it lays. So now I'm going in here with my OG Walker Red Alert foam. I'm gonna just apply it all around his head. And I'm telling y'all right now, this stuff is crazy. If you use it on somebody with waves, they'll definitely throw you a little $5, $10 tip in your service. So now I'm just brushing it in, making sure that I get a good lather, doing several passes around the head. Now we're gonna hit him with the do-rag. And guys, I'm telling y'all, this ain't no regular service. This that splat. But for real though, this service right here could take you from making $30 a haircut to $60 a haircut. Easy. Now I'm gonna hit him with that blow dryer on medium heat for about 5 minutes. That way the Red Alert can do what it's supposed to do. So what I'm doing now is I'm just hitting my client with a little hose spray, and then I'm gonna hit him with the pre-edge up solution from OG Walker. Y'all, that pre-edge up solution by OG Walker is called Glass. I'll leave the link in the description, but it's gonna give you that crispy line you want every time. I use it on all of my clients. So make sure y'all pick some of that up and try it out. I'm really putting y'all on right now, for real. So I'm just blow drying this line up, making sure that it's dry before I get to lining it up. And I'm sorry I ain't get a good angle on this part of the video, but this is my first video, so y'all cut me a little slack. But right now, I'm just starting in the middle, working my way to the right side, keeping everything as natural as possible. And my client has a light spot on his corners, so I ain't gonna dig into that and push him back. So now I'm hitting him on his vertical bars, making sure that I do not take his line back. That is very important. Do not push your clients back. And these trimmers that I'm using, they're very sharp. So I don't want to dig in and go over this spot too much. As you can see, I'm not dragging the clippers across his head. I'm just tapping it a few times and making sure that it's straight. So now I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna start from the middle and work my way to the left side of his line. And like I said, he has light spots in his corners, so I don't want to dig into them corners and push him back. And you guys might be wondering, why is he lining the hair before he does the taper? And it's simple, because when you line the hair before you do the taper, it keeps the line up naturally dark. So let's get straight into this taper. We're gonna start the bald line at the bottom of his vertical bar and the top of where his ear connects to his head. And my client doesn't grow a beard, so we're gonna be cutting just a little hair on the side of his face to clean that up. Now I'm going in with my Babyliss clippers, no guard, all the way open, creating about a finger width guideline. Now I close my clippers halfway and go about halfway up into that first guideline that I created. And when you're doing any type of fade, you always want to use that corner of your blade. The corner of the blade is going to be your best friend. So now I got my clipper closed and I'm hitting that bald line that we started off with. So I'm just taking that out and doing a little cleanup work in the area where we created our first guideline. So now I got my one guard closed and I'm going up by the finger's width to create the second guideline. Also, when you fading, you always want to make sure that you are brushing the hair down after every several passes with the clipper. And also, you can see I'm pulling this skin. That way when I'm creating this guideline, I get everything to the same length. So I slap my half guard on my clippers about halfway open, And just like the first guideline, we're gonna go about halfway into it. So at this point, I got the clipper closed, and I'm just trying to knock out that line that we left from the one open. Y'all see what I'm doing here? I'm using both corners of the blade to knock these dark spots out. You won't always knock that line from that one guard out, so I'm gonna come in with my clipper all the way open, just using the corners and a flicking out motion. Make sure I'm not digging into the fade. And guys, this is basically like detail work. This is what's gonna make your haircut stand out from all the other barbers. So now I got my 2 guard on there, just debulking in a flick out motion, making sure I'm not creating another line. I just left the 1.5 guard on my clippers halfway open, just trying to fade into this 1.5 that we cut on the top. So now I close the 1.5 all the way, and as you can see, it's fading in. You can still see a little darkness in the top of the fade, so I'm gonna go with the 1 guard halfway open and just knock it down a little bit. Now I came back in with my 1.5 guard closed, just hitting the little light spots that I see, trying to get this fade flawless. Now I got the 1 guard open, and at this point I'm detailing, just hitting any dark spots I see in the fade. Now I slap on that half guard all the way open, and this was gonna make everything come together. This is gonna hit all them dark spots that I couldn't get with the 1 guard open. And as y'all can see, I'm staying consistent with that corner of that blade. So on this side of the head, I kind of sped it up a little bit because it's gonna be the same exact steps that we did on the other side of the head. So I'm new to this YouTube thing, y'all. So if there's any video suggestions y'all got, if y'all got any ideas, just let me know below. And I'm excited about making new content every single week. And like I was telling my client here, I've been wanting to make YouTube videos for a very long time. I just anticipated for so long. But I'm here now, and I'm ready to start this brand new journey. For a very long time, I was listening to other people that had negative stuff to say about anything I wanted to do, and I just let it bring me down and crush my dreams. But I had to realize something. They ain't nothing but haters. You just gotta stay fully focused and put in the work. Don't get distracted. Don't give up. It's plenty of times when I felt like calling it quits. You just gotta get yourself together and remember why you started it in the first place. But my letter of advice would be, don't take advice from small-minded people that ain't never did what you wanna do. Instead, take advice from people that motivate you and that you could look up to. But I ain't trying to talk y'all heads off. I just wanted to throw a little motivation in here because that's what I do. So if I can motivate or inspire people in any way or form, then I'll try my best to do it through these videos. And if y'all want to contact me personally, if you got any questions or anything, just hit the link in my description and it'll take you to all my social links. hit my client's neckline before we get started with this back taper. So when you're going around the ear, you always want to use the opposite side of the blade. So basically, if you're on the right side of the head, you're using the left side of the blade. Then you can go back and clean up with the other side of the blade. So now I'm doing the same exact thing on this side of his neckline. So my client's neck taper is really light, so we're not gonna create a ball line. We're just gonna go straight in with the clipper all the way open, creating a 1/2 inch guideline. Alright, so in about every taper we do, it's gonna be the same steps. So what you wanna do is close the lever halfway and fade about halfway up into the guideline you see. Then we just gonna close it up and fade it out at the very bottom of the taper. As y'all can see, my client has a light spot at the top of his taper, and that's from wearing his do-rag. So what we're gonna do is try to keep this fade low so we don't take it too high. Now we're gonna slap on this one guard, going up about a finger's width, making sure not to dig into this light spot. When you fading, you always wanna make sure that you're consistent with your guidelines, because that's how you always put out the best fades. Now we're gonna hit it with that half guard, halfway open. And as y'all can see, after every few strokes with the clipper, I'm brushing the hair down. That way we can always have a clean canvas. Now what I'm doing is I'm taking my 1.5 guard about halfway open, just trying to clean up these dark spots in the top of the fade. And you guys can kind of see this taper coming together. And you can see why I lined it up first before I started the taper. That way we can keep the line up naturally dark. Now I come in with my one guard open, just hitting any dark spots I see just to make this fade pop. As you can see, I'm staying consistent with the corner of that clipper, making sure I don't go too hot and create another line. Now I come in with my half guard all the way open, just trying to hit any dark spots I couldn't get with that one guard all the way open. Now I come in with my Tune 45 no drip, spraying light enhancements just to make this line pop a little harder. And if y'all gonna use enhancements, just know you always want to have your client extra crispy before you apply. Don't use the enhancements to cover up mistakes. When the spray is gone, you want your client to still have a crispy lineup. As you can see, the enhancement just made the line pop 10 times harder. So now I'm gonna be going in, lining my client's mustache up, and I don't wanna make it too thin, so I'm gonna rest my hand on the side of his face and hit the bottom part of the mustache first, then go hit the top part. It's the same exact thing on this side. You just want to do whatever you can to make it symmetrical. Now that I got my client lean back in the chair, I'm gonna use this Tune 45 nude color pencil. As you can see, I'm being consistent with it, not going too dark. And you wanna always keep that pencil line light, cause you don't wanna have your mans in here looking like an island boy. I got that razor out, holding it at a 45-degree angle, pulling my client's skin back with consistent strokes. When you're using a razor, you always want to pull the skin back. If you don't, you can cut your client, nick your client, and that'll look bad on you. You never want to do that. Consistency is key. Just always be consistent in whatever you're doing. I ain't realized that I wasn't getting this part in the video, but basically I'm just lining up my client's vertical bars the same way I did on the front. You'll be able to see when I move to the other side of the head. Y'all give me some feedback on these angles. This is my first video, but I feel like this one right here banging. Y'all see how I'm pulling that skin back and I'm being consistent with them strokes? That's what I'm talking about right there. So now I'm hitting his vertical bars, pulling the skin away from the direction that I'm shaving him with the razor. What I'm doing right here, it's like the icing on the cake. It's my favorite part of the cut. So I put some oil in his hair, hit him with some pomade and brushed it in. Now I'm coming with them Andes Masters with the lever all the way closed, just gliding the clipper right across his head, hitting all them little flyaways. If you guys can't tell, I was locked in the whole time doing this cut. I've been in my zone. I'm feeling like MJ in his prime. I can't be stopped and I won't be stopped. This type of stuff right here is what clients appreciate. Because 9 times out of 10, your client ain't never had no barber that put this much detail into his head. You know you always leveling up when every time your client leave, he tell you this the best cut he ever had. Your client gonna appreciate you way more when you put this much detail into their haircut. Just do little stuff like this to your client and they ain't going nowhere. You got them in the bag. Alright, y'all remember my boy came in here looking extra crazy. He needed a cut super bad, so you know what we had to do. We had to go on and shake him back. God. Ooh wee. Look at them waves though. Look at them waves. And look at that lineup. I'm really just too nice with it. If you like what you see, go ahead and like this video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you'll know when I post new content. And follow them links in the description below. Let's go!